Hello there everybody and welcome back to Movie Squirm. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 film Final Destination Bloodlines, and this is directed by Adam B. Stein and Zach Lipovsky and stars Caitlin Santa Juana and Theo Brines. When a building collapses many years ago, a survivor has since had a family and death may be making its way down the bloodline one by one. Well guys, I have reviewed every single Final Destination film that came before this, so I'll leave my playlist down below if you want to go and check out the reviews of Final Destination 1 to 5. And I'll also leave down below my 2025 horror movie reviews as well. Now, the Final Destination series has a very familiar feel with each movie. I mean, they all feel quite the same, with the odd spanner thrown in the works or new rules here and there, just to differentiate it a little bit. But all in all, it's the same damn story, and there is more of that here. But what I will say is there's a lot more added to this one than in previous installments to make it stand out and feel bigger and bolder in scale. I mean, there's some pretty neat ideas here, but first off, I got to talk about the opening scene. Now, I got to say, this is one of the best opening scenes in the entire franchise. I can imagine this ranking quite high on my opening scene ranking video that I'm going to be doing in the near future. But seeing this building collapse and people just dying in the most cruelest ways as it crumbles to pieces was kind of a joy to behold. I mean, I know that makes me sound sinister, but that's what we've came to these movies for. We are all horror fans at heart now, aren't we? And that's why we come to the Final Destination movies, for the big openings and the creative kills. But this one, yeah, it goes for it. It's quite a long opening scene as well. But what I will say is, I like the fact after it that we don't just jump to the main character's sort of premonition that it's been centered around. It jumps many years into the future down the family bloodline. And basically, we go from the 1950s to the present day. Now, I want to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but I think the writer's done a really good job of setting out Death's plan here and why it's taken so long for Death to catch up with these characters, even though it's been many years later. It may not seem all that believable, but when it is explained throughout the movie, you're like, oh yeah, I see why it's taken this long now. And I think the writers had a big job on their hands here to make all that work. But to be honest, when it all is explained at certain points in the movie and all fully revealed, I couldn't see any plot holes whatsoever, and it all really made sense. And to be honest, it gives the franchise a breath of fresh air that was probably needed. I mean, I would have been happy with another generic Final Destination movie that we got in the ones before this, but there's some really good ideas thrown in here that sets it apart from all the other sequels and make it stand on its own. This one just feels like it's got a bigger scale to it. I mean, the writer's done so well to make this whole backstory that leads to the culmination of what's happening with these characters in the present now. It makes it stand apart from the sequels that came before it in a much more creative and clever way. And it also makes Death feel more dangerous than ever. Now, I know there's really no escape from him in the previous movies, but when it's all explained here, it just feels like he is the meanest bastard on the planet. And, you know, Death comes for everyone anyway, so I suppose he is. But there's certain things in this movie where it just makes him feel cruel. And even characters who aren't on Death's plan in this film can be met with Death himself if you piss him off. If you want to mess with his plan, he will punish you. Now, that might sound ridiculous, but there's this one scene where it happens to a certain character, and it is just done so well, where you're like, wow, that was a cool new idea to bring to the franchise. But just going back to the writing here, I want to mention the character of William Bloodsworth, played by Tony Todd. He gets a scene in this movie that is so well deserved. Now, to be honest, I've not been the biggest fan of William Bloodsworth in these movies. Okay, I like his scenes and stuff, but he's always remained a little bit of a mystery to me. Like, what is his character even doing here? Is he really Death himself? Is he a messenger of Death? But when you see his scene come to a climax in this movie, you will just realise what he kind of was all along. They write his character so well for this film that it doesn't only deserve to be in this movie, but gives a new perspective on his character for the franchise as a whole and makes him more understandable as to why he was there all along. I gotta say, the creative kills here are absolutely awesome. This might be the best bunch of collective kills in any Final Destination movie. I mean, each one of them was so much fun. And I really love how they are built up with the tension and stuff, with the director or directors like to show you to kind of throw you off a little bit. They show you certain things that may happen, and then something else might come out of left field, but it never cheats the audience. It doesn't just throw something in last minute that you didn't see coming. It does keep you guessing, and you are able to guess as to how the climax of the kills are going to happen. But one scene involving an MRI machine in here, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, guys. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details. I'll just say it involves an MRI machine. That is up there with maybe the top 3 kills in this entire franchise, alongside the gymnastics scene in part 5 and the sunbed scene in part 3. An absolute top tier Final Destination kill. There's also a certain kill involving a vehicle going down this neighborhood road, but instead of building this kill up with lots of tension and kind of throwing you off a little bit, it's all done within the dialogue of a certain character. And when it is executed, it is fantastic. I mean, the way that plays out was just one of the most clever things I've ever seen in a Final Destination movie. And that, again, just goes back to the writing here. The writing is so good in this movie, but that certain kill I'm on about isn't only cleverly done, but it's also fucking brutal as well. But I really like how we work out who's next in the line of Death's plan here. Now, our main character doesn't have really too many premonitions here. I wouldn't say it's kind of done like that, where she sees signs in the window of a reflection of a window or a shadow next to her. It's basically given to her on a roadmap from a certain character that came before her, and she can sort of work it all out from that. But what I liked about this is she explains it to the characters in the movie of why they are next, but also to us as an audience member. But what happens here is she doesn't just explain who's next, it sort of builds on the history of why these people are next. So really, when she's sort of giving these little bits of exposition, it's explaining the whole backstory that these writers have put in place here. But it never actually just feels like one big expedition dump. It feels really interesting and brand new. But I really like Stefani as our main protagonist here. I mean, she's kind of like the Wendy or the Alex of the franchise, the one you kind of get behind, the one who knows what's going on and is trying to get people on side. I mean, she doesn't do anything amazing personality-wise, but she's likable enough, and you really want her to beat Death's plan and sort of cheat Death and get out of this whole damn thing. But what I liked about what they threw in here was the kind of family drama that's going on. Her mother ran away many years ago, and she is now back on the scene. And the movie centers around her trying to connect with her mother again, and her mother trying to connect with her and build this relationship. But it is all integral to the whole history of why her mother ran away. And there are 2 sides to the story. You can sort of see her mother's side of it and her side of it. So you kind of want them to galvanize their relationship a little bit there. It's nothing spectacular, given characters backstory or anything, but it's something to get behind, because most of the characters in these movies are just there for cannon fodder. The same with her brother as well. I thought he was a really cool character. He's sort of the opposite of his sister, where his sister is blaming her mother for running away, but he blames his sister for running away to college and stuff and not keeping in touch. So it's kind of like a little family drama trio there, where they're all trying to sort of get over their differences, I suppose. So there was something there. Also, Eric was another really cool character in this movie. He's like the comedic relief, and he got some real cool one-liners and stuff, and he has real awesome kind of goth character. So he was enjoyable. But basically, the whole bunch of characters in this movie are likable. You can't really say that too much, but here, I think this is one of the best bunch of characters we've had in any of the Final Destination movies. Now, I don't really have too many complaints about this movie, but what I will say is some of the CGI is a little bit ropey here, especially the opening scene when our main 2 characters, or 2 characters for the opening scene, get to this building, this high-rise tower that collapses. The building doesn't look real at all. I mean, it's all done with computer images and stuff, And that really did take you out a little bit. Despite it being one of the best opening scenes, the whole build up to it doesn't exactly look amazing. There's also some CGI blood in the kills and stuff, but I was enjoying the kills so much that is a minor nitpick. Also, there's this one character who is hiding out to stay away from death because she is next in line, and it reminded me of Clear Rivers in Final Destination 2, where she checks herself into the mental institution. But this character is just living in the wilderness there, with lots of spiked fences surrounding her house and lots of little sort of death traps for anyone who tries to enter. And it just felt very, very over the top. It looked kind of ridiculous. So I had a hard time believing that this character was actually living there. It just felt like something out of an animated cartoon, really. But I could look past it. I mean, it was nothing too distracting or too out. Well, it was out there, but it didn't ruin my enjoyment or anything. However, this is one of the best sequels we have had in the Final Destination franchise, maybe even the best sequel. I didn't hold too much expectations from this. I just wanted to go in and go and see a good Final Destination movie. But I gotta say, this surpassed my expectations. I'm just gonna go ahead and make this movie now. I'm gonna give Final Destination Bloodlines an 8 out of 10. Man, this is one of the strongest horror franchises by far. I have enjoyed every single one of these films, even the fourth one that everyone hates. They are just so damn fun. But this one, I mean, it really did feel that little bit extra special. Okay, guys, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for Final Destination Bloodlines is that Tony Todd was allowed full creative control over his final scene. And he does this little monologue where he's basically talking to these characters in the movie, but also talking to the audience, not only as William Bloodsworth, but as Tony Todd himself. And it's a great message to get across. And it was really sad and emotional to see him do this sort of little speech there. So it was a perfect way to end the character. And rest in peace, Tony Todd. You will be sorely missed. Okay, guys, hope you all enjoyed this review. What did you think of Final Destination Bloodlines? And don't forget, if you want to check out my other Final Destination reviews, they will be in the link down below, along with my 2025 horror movie reviews. Please leave a comment. I'll get back to you all, I promise. If horror is your sort of thing, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. It really helped me out. Thanks so much, guys. You take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.